Kia's neighbouring Hyundai i20 competitor has recently had a date with the Botox department, so now it's the Rio Supermini's turn, but this facelift is much more minimal. There have been some very subtle changes to the front and rear bumpers, not that it needed them, and it remains quite a stylish little car. Okay, Simpson's yellow may not do it justice, but its design is certainly less conservative than something like the Volkswagen Polo. There have been some minimal changes to the trim levels in the Rio, but they remain easy to understand with the 1, 2, 3 and 4 notations. The key addition, equipment-wise, is the new 7-inch touchscreen sat-nav system, which is now standard on 3 and 4 models. And this brings me to its radio. If you don't end up going for the sat-nav, then you do end up with this pretty outdated radio display, which is a shame as it really kills the interior design, and Kia's clearly made an effort to make it look a bit plusher with this soft touch material on the dash. And although the doors do look the same material as the dash, they're not quite of the same quality. But regardless of all this, standard kit across the Rio range is pretty impressive, as every model gets DAB digital radio, Bluetooth, electric front windows and daytime running lights, but aircon is reserved as a premium for the One Air model. Legroom in the back of the Rio is great, verging more on family hatchback than Supermini, and headroom is pretty fair as well. We'd suggest going for the 5-door model instead of the 3-door though, because it enhances practicality. And speaking of practicality, the Rio's boot is on par with the usual suspects like the Ford Fiesta with 288 litres. Storage space can be enhanced by folding the seats down, but you are met with two pretty awkward lips here and here. The engine lineup remains very simple in the Rio, with 2 petrols and 2 diesels. There is a 107 brake horsepower 1.4 litre petrol available, but most will go for the lower powered 84 brake horsepower 1.25 litre unit, which is what we're driving. This engine is fair when it comes to fuel economy, and realistically it'll return around 45 to 50 miles per gallon. But you do have to rev it out quite a bit to get any oomph from it, and by the time you've done that, well, you get a lot of engine noise in the cabin. The 1.1 litre and 1.4 litre diesels aren't much punchier either, but what they are is more efficient, and Kia claims that with the 1.1 litre 74 brake horsepower unit, you can get almost 88 miles per gallon, and it'll emit just 85 grams per kilometre of CO2. The steering is clearly city orientated in the Rio, as it's very light and, well, it's limited when it comes to feedback. The suspension is just on the right side of supple though, so even if you do encounter some uneven roads, it'll serve you well. The light feel of the steering is the same with the instruments as well, like the toggles for the lights and the indicators. And the gearbox has got a similar light feel to it as well. And in fact, at first the gearbox can feel quite sloppy, especially if you're not used to driving Kias and, well, it's nowhere near as direct as a VW or a Mazda. But after a few hours you do get used to this. The hard to judge clutch can take some getting used to as well. At just over 10 grand, the Rio is the same price as the Ford Fiesta Supermini, but it manages to undercut more premium rivals like the VW Polo by around £1,000. You can actually save up to £1,500 on the Rio if you go to the Car Keys website. But price aside, don't forget, Kia's got its 7-year 100,000 mile warranty. The Rio isn't what you'd call groundbreaking, but it certainly matches the benchmark standards of the Supermini segment, and for that reason it remains a key alternative to the likes of the Ford Fiesta. But what do you think of the Rio? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. To research your next car and find great deals, visit carkeys.co.uk, and to watch more reviews, click one of the links on the end of the video.